Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, serving the Lake Pennsauken and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 33 years, we have strived to serve great food at great prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our burgers or wings are the best around. We have daily specials too. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information. Central Screen Services LLC, in collaboration with Mask & Sons Incorporated. All screen services are available. We offer a variety of colors, durability, and sizes for all your screening needs. Pool areas, patios, and more. Call 352-603-4099 today for your free estimate. Proudly serving all of Citrus, Sumter, Hernando, Lake, and Pasco counties. To find out more, check them out on Facebook. Duto Realty is a homegrown business with an eye for getting the job done right. From football games to Sunday school and everything in between, these ladies care about our community and the people in it. Helping buyers and sellers in all of Florida with all types of transactions, including residential, commercial, farm, or vacant land. They do it all. They even offer auction services and sellouts to always get the job done right. Hey guys, we're on vacation now, so today's special guests are none other than the other Gobles of the family. I have my brother James Goble and my father, Gregory William Goble. So, without further ado, guys, welcome to the Goblay Show.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's go. I tore a kid's ACL, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
it's Nature Coast.
Yeah.
First play of the game,
Oh,
cut
yeah.
him.
Speaking of that Nature Coast game, that was oh my God, dude.
That's definitely one that stands out.
Yeah.
At least from my 4 years.
I think that's
game.
the only overtime game I've ever been a part of. I think it is. I mean, seriously, like out of all the games, if it wasn't a blowout, or we got blown out, or it was just like, a couple touchdowns, but never.
Do you know what play it was that we ran to win it?
I know he dove over the. No, that was 2 point, right? We had to go.
No, they kicked a field goal, so we were in overtime. They kicked a field goal.
Oh, we just had to score,
and it was 4th and 1 or something.
Yeah.
It may not have been that suspensive. It might have been.
But I know it was on the goal line.
But it was on the goal line.
I know Tony went over the top,
and we ran right 24.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. And he just dove over the top.
Oh yeah. I mean, we had Joey down at outside tackle or right tackle.
Right.
I think that's what we called it then. Outside tackle. Yeah. And I mean, that man can make a hole. And then it was Mike Bellamy next to him, and I mean, we needed a yard.
Big Mike.
We're gonna run right 24. That's you have all these plays, all these special. And it comes down to you need to win a game.
Yeah.
You need 1 yard.
Right.
Got right 24.
Dude, they should have known. Anytime Joey and Mike Bellamy line up,
and there was another.
The ball's going behind them.
I can't remember who the other other tackle was over there. I think Mike was the strong guard.
Yeah, bro.
But
gosh, it was
fun. Those guys made me look good. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was 15 years ago, bro.
Jesus.
Time flies.
Mm-hmm.
But then y'all beat Bowles, and then we played Madison. Those guys were just nasty.
Yeah, well, I remember coming into practice on Monday and walking up to Coach Helms, and I'm like, "Hey, Coach, we beat Bowles," and he goes, "Yeah, we got Madison now," and I didn't know what he meant by that until Friday night.
Yeah. And they were just bigger and faster? Or?
Well, they had that one. I was 6 foot, 200 pounds soaking wet. And I'm going against a kid that was committed to Florida State. I don't know if he ended up playing there or not. Jacoby McDaniels.
Yeah.
And he was 6'4", 6'5", 300 and something pounds.
Oh, my God. Kid, get out of the way.
Yeah.
Katie, bar the door.
I was like a little chihuahua biting at his ankle. And, I mean, we know Madison. They're good every year.
Yeah.
I don't know how they are now, but back then it was Madison Bowles and us, we were the three.
Right.
And then that random year that Chaminade put it together.
The buzzsaw.
Yeah.
I want to take a second to apologize for it's really windy up here. We're up in the mountains, so you can probably see it in the background. You can see the trees going crazy, but that's not static. That's the wind. So don't adjust your volume or anything.
The Smoky Mountain.
The Great Smoky Mountains. But anyways, going back to that, after football was all said and done, we were talking about the brotherhood and the camaraderie. Like Matt said, I'd get on the booby, Clinton Crosby. I'd yell at Booby, and he'd yell at me if I did something wrong. And you took care of each other, and it went further past sports. You were like that for life. You held one accountable. Is what basically what it boiled down to.
Yeah.
So when you went out and you graduated and you decided later on you were going to go in the Air Force, what are some things that you took from our program that was kind of similar to the military? Like as far as the brotherhood goes, is there any similarities or?
Yeah, I think, one thing that you realize for me, when I got into the Air Force, there's a lot of other guys from a background similar to that.
Right.
A lot of former athletes too. And those guys were just so much easier to get along with because you kind of thought the same. You had the same, you grew up the same way. You all grew up during the fall, giving it all on Friday night, working your tail off, and just easy to get along with.
Right.
And it just made that so much easier versus somebody who maybe wasn't involved in any sports or didn't do anything, and they were just a little bit more difficult to get. You could get along with them fine and all that, but it's a little bit harder to build that camaraderie versus guys that you already have something in common with. You already know what's going on.
Right. So, what were some things that I remember you going to when you went to boot camp, and you were talking about how football practice at South Sumter was a little bit harder than the boot camp you actually did for the United States Air Force.
Yeah, we definitely didn't run 1,900-yard sprints in the summer.
Yeah.
So, but no, it obviously, and being used to a program like South Sumter and the expectations during the summer, it gets you in shape and you're prepared for it.
Right.
And it obviously it helps.
You guys did a lot of running.
Yep.
I remember that morning jog on your graduation that day. Good Lord. It looked like y'all were running the Leesburg.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And I remember going, thank God I don't have to do that.
Yeah. I think that was the last time I ran like that too.
So tell us a little bit about the Air Force experience.
Oh man, it was I was in for 8 years.
Yeah.
It was the best decision I ever made in my life. It paid for my college. It set me up for a lot of success going down the road. It's I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. It was the best decision I ever made.
Right.
Was doing that. I was nervous at first and wasn't sure about it, but yeah. And then getting out was the second best decision I ever made in my life. That was pretty good decision too.
Yeah.
So
well, you were able to get more opportunities and stuff when you got out.
Well,
it was time to go.
Yeah, it was. We kind of had an odd situation where my wife is active as well, and she got orders to move to Enid, Oklahoma, and they didn't have my job, so I would have had to stay in Colorado until the Air Force could fix it.
Yeah.
Well,
You're married.
I'm not a big priority on the Air Force's list as far as, getting that fixed. So it was easier for me to just get out.
Yeah.
So I got out and went with her to Enid, but it was just a really good transition, really good situation to be in.
So what did you do in the Air Force? What was your job?
Basically a carpenter.
Okay.
We did base maintenance. all the infrastructure, roofs, drywall. I mean, locksmith, jack of all, master of none.
Yeah.
Kind of one of those deals.
Doing some locks and stuff?
A little bit.
Did you like that?
I only did it for about a month or two when I was in Idaho.
Yeah.
We had a civilian locksmith that had been there for about 50 years, and he took all the new guys in for like a month at a time.
Right.
And it just kind of never got back to me by the time I got in there.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, it was good.
Dad, you wanted to get in the military, but you...
Yes, I did. When I got out of Lake Sumter, Preston Morgan was a good friend of mine. We went to school together, and Preston and I went down to the recruiter in the Air Force, and I was interested in aviation. And he put it out there on the table and said, look, guys, you need to have 4 years in order to get into aviation. That's a top priority. He said, what we'll do is send you to San Antonio for basic, and then you'll branch off to other schools if you qualify. And I signed up, but there again, I was waiting for my 4 years. And once I got out of South Florida, your mother and I got married. And I remember getting the letter from the Air Force stating that all you had to do is report to San Antonio on this certain date. And I remember looking at it, and I looked at your mom, and I threw it in the trash. Your mother didn't want to leave her parents.
Yeah.
And nor did I want to leave mine.
Yeah.
My parents was the greatest generation. They experienced the Depression, World War II. They both volunteered, kind of, because Daddy got drafted, but Mama, she went into in the Navy and was a seaman first class. I have no idea what she'd done. It was classified, and that meant keep a secret for life, and she did. My dad was in artillery. He was a forward observer, calling in coordinates. And he's got a battle ribbon, which Jimmy has now. Jimmy put it on display. But it's got them little bronze stars. That means there was major conflicts that he was in. We're talking about, the invasion of Normandy, June 6, 1944. I asked him later on in life, we were out there by his barn one time, getting the lawnmowers ready to mow, and I asked him, I said, what were you doing this day at 10 o'clock, Dad, 50-something years ago? And he looked at me and said, I was sweating my butt off, boy. And that's all he said about it.
Yeah.
Those people, they were different. And part of the way I have been raised was because of my dad.
Right.
I idolized him. There was things that, my dad did to me that I'll never forget. Bad or good, whatever the situation, without hesitation, I'd give my life to him.
Yeah.
Whatever the situation was, because he was always there beside me when I really needed help.
Right.
My dad was there.
You had a really good support group.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
My dad was a brilliant man. He knew more about life than I ever thought about, and out of respect, like I said before, he's the only Mr. Goblay I know. I don't deserve that title. My dad does.
Yeah.
And I had so much respect for him that I named both of my sons in a way after my dad.
Right.
My dad's first name was William. Your first name is William. His nickname, which my grandma called him, Jimmy. And I can think of no better honor than a son to name his sons.
I was talking to Grandpa about some stuff, and the way he would talk about things that he had to do back in the day, not even war stuff. This is pre-war when he was growing up. Just some of the stuff he had to go through himself, and the trials and tribulations of just regular daily life.
Unbearable.
Yeah, it was.
People quit today.
Yeah.
But my dad wasn't a quitter.
Yeah, it's crazy how. But he's not. I don't want to say he was the only one. He's so many people that went through the same thing. But, But it's amazing how they had to. Everyone went through all that together, and that's probably why they're considered the greatest
Absolutely.
generation.
You know, not only did my dad have influence on me, I had a principal at junior high school, Mr. Sam Harris. I had the utmost respect. He was like a father figure to me. When I played football in sixth grade, seventh grade come around, I said, I don't think I want to do this anymore. You know, it's you get out there and get hit and knocked down and you're hurting. You're not allowed to cry.
Yeah.
There were so many times I get hit so hard I wanted to cry, but you can't.
Yeah.
So I didn't go out. Well, the first day of school, intercom system blared out, and I want to see Mr. Gregory Goblay in my office. Everybody looked at me and said, what have you done? Went in there, and Mr. Harris gave me the speech that I'll never forget. He said, listen, son, I'd love to have you out there. I want you to participate with these other boys. But let me tell you something right now. If you quit me, you'll be a quitter for the rest of your life. I never forgot those words.
Yeah.
I went out, I enjoyed it in 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah.
I had the utmost respect for that man.
Yeah.
Danny McCoy was the same way. Danny was another coach in junior high. I've seen Danny do things with a push mower. He was out there mowing the entire football field so we could have a nice football field on Thursday night.
Yeah.
You don't get people to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Keith Hyman took care of that field from South Upper High School for all those years. He didn't get no extra money for that.
Yeah.
He was out there doing it
Just
because he
doing it
loved the kids.
That's right. Doing what he does.
And Danny was the same way. Yeah.
You know, a funny story about Keith. He was he always painted the field. And Keith wants it the way he wants it, just like anybody else wants. They want to do something, they want to do it right, and they want to do it the way they want to do it. So Keith would take that screwdriver, put it down, and string it across, and then when he got done with it, he'd just kind of pop it, and the thing would come out. Well, he said he was doing one thing, and he was done with it, and he started pulling on it. And that thing flew out and hit him in the jugular. He's like, I'm bleeding a little bit. But, I mean, you know, Dad, you're talking about how earlier, like, we talked about the baseball fields and stuff. I touched it with Coach Kenley and Boo Hart. You know, Webster was a different ball game, literally, no pun intended. But it was a different place because I felt like people cared a little bit more. Parents cared a little bit more. And I said, no, not to say that parents don't care now. It's just I don't feel like they as many care. You know, there are still some. But there are still some, and more so, people that want to just drop their kids off like it's a babysitting service. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's school, you know? All right, kids, have fun. Just shove them out the door. Get out. I got to go. But no, I don't know.
Well, I put 20 years into Dixie Youth Baseball. I started before you guys even thought about playing baseball. You were still 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
And, of course, Jimmy wasn't here yet. But Danny McCoy asked me to stop by and check on Chuck Vorbach's. He was coaching the team. He said, well, just stop by and just check it out, see if he needs any help. And that's how I got involved in it. I started helping Chuck.
He set you up.
He set me up.
That's how it always starts.
Yep.
Just help.
Yeah, you just
why don't you come out there and help?
see if he needs any help, but just go over there and stop. So I did because of Danny McCoy. Danny's a faithful friend.
Yeah.
And I did look. The 20 years I put in there from you, your sister, and your brother, those days are special to me. Your mother was involved in it too. I mean, it was a family tradition to go and do what you had to do.
Yeah.
We rebuilt the field one time at Webster because we had a state tournament there, and we completely remodeled the field. Danny McCoy was out there by himself throwing sod in the outfield.
Yeah.
Raymond Bird, Ronnie Pitts, we all was out there working, picking the sod up and taking it there, and Danny by himself was throwing the sod in there.
Right.
That's not just a commitment. That's an honor system. And we had faith in we worked, but as soon as work was over with, we went out to the field and started it until dark. And none of us got an extra dime out of the whole project, but it was a satisfaction that hey, we're going to have a nice field here for the state tournament, and we did. So,
Jimmy, do you have any memories of playing baseball in Webster or Center Hill?
yeah, he does.
Yeah, there's one that sticks out. Center Hill. We're practicing. I think it's 8-year-olds, Dad.
I don't recall.
And I don't remember who it was. I keep wanting to say it was Reason Rinker.
Reason Ranker.
Is goofing off or something. We're all goofing off.
He had a PlayStation playing, and we're out there with baseball practicing.
So Dad starts yelling at him. And over behind home plate across the street, there's this 2-story house. And this lady comes out of onto the top of the staircase and starts yelling, "Don't you yell at those kids like that!" And starts just yelling at Dad. And Dad just slowly turns around and he's, "Don't you make me come over there!" And she ran inside and slammed the door. And never heard another word.
Oh,
That's probably the only story from all those years of baseball that really sticks out. That, and I remember teaching Chris Dobson not to step out of the batter's box. Dad put a bat behind him. So
which everybody does that.
Yeah. So
that was not common back then. It was, now it's not uncommon.
But yeah, that's
Yeah,
about it there.
that's funny. Dad, who's the best athlete? Or name a few athletes that you remember growing up watching, coaching baseball. Who'd you have as a?
Well, we start off with when you got in T-ball. I mean, Alan Shirley and Butch. I called him Butch.
Willie Craig.
Willie Craig. Willie Craig was a natural. I mean, this kid was 7 or 8 years old, whatever. Five to seven.
I want to say 5 to 7, yeah, because minor league was 8 years old.
Willie had never played baseball, but he could take a little orange soft baseball,
yeah, little orange T-balls.
Yeah, and throw it from center field straight to the catcher like a line. And I said, "Whoa, wait a minute, we got something here." And he would get up the bat, and boom, it was over the fence just about every time.
Yeah.
And Alan was he was just a smart kid. He could, you tell him one thing, and he knew it.
Yeah.
And outstanding. You know, I think Alan went to the University of South Florida on a baseball scholarship.
Play catcher.
Yeah,
Catcher.
really good at it.
I always bring up Justin Simmons.
Justin Simmons was a natural.
Yeah, golly.
That's just
Awesome.
he only had one problem. You want to listen to you, man. He could care less what. Don't tell me how to throw a baseball. I know how to throw a baseball.
Justin, you didn't want to listen anyway.
But listen, I enjoyed those years, and the kids, which are grown adults now,
Yeah.
they're continuing on with their. Alan's a coach. His girls, he coached them softball for years.
Yep.
And I don't know about Butch. Well, where he ended up in Houston?
Tavares. He went to
Tavares,
Tavares, yeah.
But a great human
Yeah.
being.
I saw him one time. He was DJing. He was DJing AJ Bryant's wedding.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. That's been a while.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following: Kona Ice. Kona Ice is a shaved ice truck that brings a one-of-a-kind tropical experience to you. Guests can flavor their own Kona Ice on our signature flavor wave, dance to our island music tunes, and enjoy a nutritious and delicious treat. Contact Jeremy and Marissa at 352-403-0515. Don't forget to follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Pat's Taps at Catfish Johnny's. Pat's Taps is Lake Pennsauken's newest tap room, offering 14 rotating craft beers on tap. We also offer bottled domestic beers, seltzers, ciders, and wine, as well as a variety of appetizers and puff. Our family-friendly tap room is a great place to come hang out and enjoy some one-of-a-kind craft beer. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or the Untapped app. Is the exterior of your home or business covered in dirt, mildew, or mold? Driveway or walkway stain?
Pressure King can make your siding, deck, vents, and concrete look new again with no damage. Pressure King has cleaned the exterior of houses and businesses all over Sumter County area. Usually it takes less than a day and costs less than you would expect. Call AJ at 352-457-7209.
AJ was a good kid too. I remember him in middle school, and I did a summer, or not a summer, but an after-school program, and I could tell AJ, he had it.
Yeah.
He was playing out there playing basketball, and he was superior over anybody out there.
Yeah.
And,
He's a good basketball player.
but he let you know about it too.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
But AJ's a good guy.
AJ's going to do something and tell you how he did it.
Yeah.
Right in front of you. All right, man. I remember him being a freshman. I was a sophomore, and we played basketball in the gym. And he, oh my gosh, it was like trash talk city, dude. But he was good.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't know how to play basketball. You're playing against the wrong guy.
Well, he went to Georgia Southern and
Yeah.
stood out in football in there. And
Yeah, Georgia Southern. Well, oh man, we went to a game in Georgia Southern. We went to see App State play Georgia Southern, and Devin Pappenheim was playing. And we had a kid that Deontay Grant, called him Debo. He was playing at Georgia Southern at the time, and he had blown his ACL or MCL out. He was on crutches. Anyways, so I didn't wear my Georgia State stuff. Well, I made a mistake because you go to Georgia Southern, if you're wearing anything but Georgia Southern colors, boy, I think the preacher would cuss you out because they are gung ho about
yes,
their.
they were.
And they killed. I was telling somebody they killed us. I think it was Carson. They killed us. We didn't. App State didn't even score. And every time that Georgia Southern scored, they had this big military cannon because there's an army base right down the road from there. So they put those blank shells in and they'd shoot that thing off, and we were 20 feet from it. So we had to hear the cannon go off every time, and it was a blowout. And then after the game, we're waiting on Pappin then to come out, and we had some drunk girl cussing me out. I'm like, keep going, just keep going. Stinking drunk, go home, go sleep it off. But yeah, that was fun to go back, and I love going to see some of our players.
I enjoyed
play.
it too. Really.
We've seen Pat a few times.
Yep.
Went to the bowl game in Mobile. What was that? The Dollar General Bowl.
Yep. Sure was.
And went to see him in Coastal Carolina. There's just a couple other guys. Kiki, went and saw Kiki a lot. But I just, we're trying to keep that tradition alive where people, what they do and how they do it is just making people better, Jimmy, you got any, what are you doing these days? Well, I'm in Enid, Oklahoma.
Yes.
And I was the offensive line coach for Enid High School the last 2 years, and been there for 3 years. So this will be year 4.
Yeah.
First year I was tight ends coach. Second, third year was the offensive line coach, and then this year I'm moving to. I'm still in Enid, but I'm going to the middle school to be the head middle school football coach, and I'm already the head baseball coach for middle school. So I'm gonna have all.
Wow.
I have both of those.
So you're gonna see that. You're gonna see what kind of talent comes up there through there first.
Yeah, well. So the thing that we haven't really done a good job of in the past that South Sumter has always done is that relationship between Coach Kinley and Coach Sherman and now Coach Lawrence of running the same offense. Running a middle school version of the varsity offense, and we didn't do that there.
Right.
For whatever reason, we didn't. So we have a new head coach this year who was our quarterback's coach, a real good friend of mine, great football coach. And when we talked about it, he's like, I need you to run exactly what we run.
Yeah.
Just the middle school version of it. And, so that when they get to high school, they know how to run it. And so we have, we don't have Right 24, but our version of Right 24, whatever it is, they should be able to run in their sleep when they get to high school. Just like hell, I'm 33. 33. Don't count me out yet. I'm 33 and I can still run right 24 in my sleep.
Yeah.
Same with Texas and 2C and 3C, but we're trying to build that there in Enid as well, is a program kind of like that. And I've always bragged about the South Central program to these guys because, it is built from the ground. Like from the moment you can play football, you're running the Raider offense.
Right.
And so that's what we're trying to do there. And I gladly moved to the middle school to be a part of that, because what a lot of people don't know, and I'm sure a lot of people that listen to this are some of the coaches and stuff, so they know, but football coaches at the varsity level, it is a lot of time.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a lot of time and effort.
Right.
I mean, you are constantly working on something. And so, I kind of get the opportunity to take a step back and not spend as much time, but also still, contribute to the program. And so I'm excited about that. And we've had a couple kids the past few years that are taking that step and going to the next level. We have a kid that's at K-State now. He redshirted last year, Donovan Ryman. I went out and watched him play Tulane last year when they lost to Tulane, and then I'm going to watch him play UCF this year.
Okay.
But I'll be in. I told him I love him, and I do. He's a great kid, excellent kid. But I told him, I said, I'll be in black and gold for that one. I ain't wearing that gaudy purple for that day.
Well, that's exactly what I felt bad with when Devo was there, but Devo wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, and there's a picture of me on Facebook with him, and I'm in all that App State stuff. And I'm like, it's not like he was there and nobody was on App State. I was just opposing him.
Yeah.
I went there because Devin I think it was his junior or senior year.
Well, that'll be my case. I don't have anybody at UCF, but I don't care. No, I did make him a deal. I had a friend in Korea make me a K-State jersey with his name on the back. So I'm going to bring it, and I'm going to have it on our tailgate. And that's about as close as it's going to get to it.
Yeah.
But then we got another kid that just committed to Oklahoma State,
Yeah.
Play wide receiver, Tyke Andrews, and then two guys that just enrolled in the Air Force Academy.
Okay.
And I mean, so we're getting there. We got some dudes, but I don't know if you guys have heard of Bigsby High School or Jinx High School, but we got our own version of Madison and Bowles.
Yeah.
And they're when we were down this past year in October, I actually missed our Bigsby game, and it was 77 to 14.
Oh, well, at least it wasn't a shutout.
That happened in the state playoffs.
Oh my gosh!
It was 63-0 or 56-0 at halftime. I mean, that if you look up Bigsby High School, it is
Broken Arrow, another one of them.
Broken Arrow's in our conference or our division as well. So we have it's Tulsa Union is another really good program. Broken Arrow, Jinx, Bigsby, and there's a couple others, but those are like the big 4 or 5.
Gotcha.
That are pretty tough.
You got a lot of. I mean, is it? They're all big school. Do you have any like? Because you know how we have the 1As and.
Yeah.
You have big schools or just.
So we're in. So the way Oklahoma works, you have Class C, Class B, which is like 8-man football.
Yeah.
And then we have 2A through 6A, and then 6A has 6A1 and 6A2. So 6A1 is what we're in. We got about 2,000 kids at our high school, and then you got Broken Arrow that's got 5,000.
Oh my God!
Kids at their high school. So we're one of the smallest, but we're one of the largest 16 high schools in Oklahoma. So we're in that large group, and it's now BA is 5,200, but then the next one's like around 3 or so. They're not all 5,000, but
when you say 5,000 in school, I'm thinking the first thing that comes to me is not just because it's food, but how do they feed all those kids? Like, how do they have time?
I don't know.
You think about it, oh my God, they probably have to start at 9:30.
I'm pretty sure they have cafeterias for each grade. and the school is split up.
Yeah, but still,
more,
if you divide that into 4, I mean, that's 500 kids. Or, well, not the 2,000 is 500 kids.
Yeah.
But you're thinking, still 500 kids through a line? You've been to Disney. 500 people, that's a lot of people.
Or the aquarium in Gatlinburg.
Oh, my gosh. Guys, we went to the aquarium in Gatlinburg. Holy smokes, the Ripley's, the aquarium, it was just a constant line, just a queue. It was I want to call it like an assembly line. And everybody just it's like a cha-cha-cha, keep going all the way through this thing. And I'm like, all right, we're going to break up as soon as we get around this corner. No, we're still in a line. All right, we're going to get around this corner. No, oh, we're still together. Oh, there's a mermaid show. Oh, hey. Oh, the mermaid show. Ooh, that's another
podcast.
Yeah, that's entirely, we can do an entire podcast about that mermaid show. What the future look? How long do you think you'll be in Enid?
Well, Cassie's got 5 years till she can retire.
Yeah.
So,
realistically, retire?
Well,
she said
retire
maybe
from the Air Force.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, she'll be at 20 years and she can retire.
Gotcha.
And then we'll be moving probably to the Orlando area. So we'll be coming back eventually, but at least 5 years to go in the Air Force now. Yeah. We don't know. We assume we're going to be in Enid the rest of the time, which I'm okay with coaching football and our baseball team, which I haven't talked about at all. We just
you can talk about that.
We just made it to the state tournament,
nice.
to the final 8, and then made it all the way to the state championship game. And we lost, so I mean I've been there before in 05. 05 and 23.
Maid of
honor.
So,
yeah, always a bridesmaid. But I will say we have a really special team in baseball. And that's the great thing about baseball versus football is, these schools can have 5,000 kids, and football is such a physical. It don't matter how big you are in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps, but it doesn't really matter.
Right.
We got dudes that are competing, and I mean, we lost to Bigsby again in the state championship game, but we beat them twice in the regular season, 1-0 both times, and then just kind of ran out of pitching in that state tournament.
Yeah.
But our baseball program is incredible. We got a dude that y'all are gonna know in a couple years.
Yeah,
you might hear about him next July during the MLB draft.
Is he a junior this year?
He's a junior. He'll be a senior next year. Yeah, he just won the Player of the Year for Oklahoma as a junior. Just the best athlete I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
I mean, his name's Garrett Scholl. So write that name down because you're going to hear about him.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
He's already committed to Oklahoma State as a freshman, but I don't think he'll ever step foot in Stillwater.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think he'll be
he'll be straight up. Yeah.
But great kid too.
Yeah.
Great kid.
That's what you want. You want to have good kids. You don't want kids that are.
No, he's not cocky at all.
Nothing will make you even more mad than a cocky kid that's got a God-given talent.
Yeah.
You're like, man.
Yeah.
Those are the kind you just want to be like.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But yeah, the baseball program is special. It's our head coach there reminds me a lot of your Sherman and your Lawrence. Just great coach, old school, has his way of doing it. It's going to be done his way. If you don't like it,
too bad.
Too bad. Or you can go. But incredible and great. Just a great dude.
Let me ask you this: do you have a lot of kids when you were coaching at the Enid High? Did you have a lot of kids leave like they do down here? I mean, down in Florida, where they don't like it, they'll go. I'm going to Hernando. I'm going to Wildwood. I'm going to Villages.
No, not really.
That's good.
We
for the most part,
we're a 6A1 school, right? And so the other schools around us are relatively smaller schools. There's a 2A or a 3A school in North Enid, and then there's a couple 8-man programs and stuff. So I mean, it might happen, but it's never happened with one of our dudes. Where we're like, oh God, this guy's leaving.
Right.
to go there.
Right.
It don't really happen. We've gotten some of those kids coming into Enid.
Yeah.
So we're more the recipient than the loser.
Right.
So kind of works out for us.
I would think as a big school, you wouldn't want to transfer because if you have yourself established, why would you go somewhere else that you're going to have to compete again to get a spot?
Well, and the other thing is, like, if you can be successful at 6A1 or 6A in Oklahoma, you're going to get seen. That's what, with our guys, like Donovan, who went to K-State, it took a little while for him to start getting recognition, but once he started performing against the Jinx and the Bigsby's, these are weekly matchups that we get. I mean, he got seen,
Right.
and then the offers started to come, and then, once a guy gets an offer, other people start looking at the other guys on their team, and then, like I said, in the last 2 years now, we've had 4 kids go FBS.
Right.
So it's definitely a place to be.
I was just looking at the weather. Let's see if it's going to rain again. Sorry. No. Are you when you get down to Florida, you going to plan on coaching again, or you want to? What do you want to do?
I don't know.
Yeah. Still up in there.
We were talking about
Or
it.
baseball.
We were talking about on the way down here, and I think I'm gravitating towards baseball.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Have to see
5
what
years
happens.
is a long time. Change your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot can happen in
But-
5 years.
But we're big baseball. Me and Cass are big baseball people,
Yeah.
so it's baseball kind of fits us more now. So it'll probably be baseball.
For those of the people listening that don't know about Enid, can you compare a city, what it's like?
It's about 60,000 people.
Okay.
With the surrounding area, about 60,000. There's a couple
Yeah.
little towns outside.
The town of
It's,
Enid reminds you of any place you've ever been? Like, you can go places and go, that reminds me of Leesburg. Or it reminds me
Yeah,
of-
no, that's what I was trying to think, and I wanted to say Leesburg, but Leesburg's probably a little too big.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So definitely not Claremont.
no, maybe Claremont in the 90s,
Okay.
not Claremont
Oh, wow.
in 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had them all. It's
Yeah.
closed now. It's kind of like Leesburg. Are they open again?
Yeah.
Leesburg?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. But, yeah, we have a shut down mall. We got a Walmart and a Lowe's.
Yeah.
I was going to
And
say
a Tommy's Car Wash.
that mall that you have is pretty intense.
Yeah. No, it's not bad. There's good people out there, which makes it better. But you're an hour and a half from an hour from Stillwater, an
Yeah.
hour and a half from Oklahoma City,
Yeah.
2 hours from Tulsa. So you got to go
Right.
if you need to go to an airport or a bigger
Yeah.
store. It's a little bit of a
And
drive.
you're what, 6 hours from Dallas or 4 hours?
About five and a half.
5.5.
Yeah,
not too
maybe
bad.
5.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Well, I guess, guys, if there's... Oh, you want to say something else?
Well, I just want to give everybody the impression that this is 20 years in baseball and all this sports activity and YouTube. There's no book that you can turn to chapter 1 and say, well, this is how you raise your son
Right.
and your daughter. Listen, I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of times I was wrong and you guys were right, but the people that I grew around with, especially number one was my father. I learned so much from him, and then it was coaches
Right.
that I got involved in through schools, principals and teachers, people that I look up to. And the bottom line was, you didn't want to disappoint them.
Right.
And I tried my best to implement their program and their lifestyle to what I was doing. But you can't do that.
Yeah. No.
You know, I worked for the school system for 25 years. It wasn't until I had that heart attack and I went back to work to realize I'm just a number in the system.
Yeah.
Okay? That maintenance department went on
Yeah.
without me. So I come to the conclusion that this is nothing but a job. It's not what I live for. When I got in my car that was my life.
Yeah.
I went home to my family,
Yeah.
to you guys, and to your mother that been married for 44 years. I don't know how she's put up with me for 44 years.
Yeah, me neither.
But
Yeah.
luckily, Billy was unfortunate. He was the first. He's responsible for his sister and his brother for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Great.
Well, it's not fair. Well, that's what life's about. It's not fair.
Yeah.
And you have to establish
Yeah.
your leadership qualities and follow the right way to go. And listen, you two guys, I couldn't ask for a better life to have two great sons. And I've enjoyed the time when I retired that you and I went off. Your salesman, you and Matt were doing some kind of program.
We didn't talk about that.
But
credit card sales.
then I had a great time. We went to South Carolina. We went to Pensacola.
Savannah.
Yeah, gosh, we went
Panama
off.
City.
I had a real good time.
Yep.
And Jimmy, when he was going through sports, so much of that, when I was out there in the outfield in the stands, he could do a gesture or a mannerism, and for 1 second, that was me. I got to live my life again through you guys, and I'm so proud of both of you. I know there's been times that I yelled at you and screamed at you, spanked you. Never spanked you, but maybe once or twice. He got most of the blunt.
Are we recording?
But listen, I'm proud of you two guys. Everybody in the Sumter County area that knows you, they think the most of you. They think you're a good guy. And of course, Jimmy's out in Oklahoma. We don't see him that much, but
They don't know him very well.
No,
but
that's how I like to keep it. Blend in.
But the bottom line is, guys, I've been an actor all my life, doing different roles, different plays.
Yep.
And so much of it, that's not really me.
Yeah.
Even in my job in the facilities department, I was assistant chief, but I was in charge of so many guys. But there again, I didn't want to be that way, to yell and scream at them when they stepped across the line. But you got to do what you got to do to take care of business and your superiors, and you got to do what they tell you to do. But I'm retired now, and I don't really care anymore because I don't have to live that life, and I'm so satisfied.
Right.
And I live day to day.
How much did you pay for the flyover for the show today?
What is
Today's
this?
flyover is brought to you by Kodai's. I'm just kidding. No, Dad, we appreciate you. Appreciate Mom and Dad, you and Mom, and
Well, thank God for your mother, because
yeah.
you guys have been in trouble that I've had to raise you by myself.
Oh boy. Well, listen, we appreciate you, and like you said, there's a lot of your mannerisms in us that we do every day, and at work, guys are telling me that's something your dad would have done, or you sound like your dad, and that's not a bad thing. I don't think it is a bad thing. I just smile because eventually, there's going to be somebody acting like me soon. I don't know, Easton, Jace, somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them. Okay, yeah, whatever. But what I'm saying is, we're grateful. I've never once in my life wanted to be anybody else, or be in another family. And that's just who we are. We're Goblins. That's who I want to be.
Well, I'm very proud of both of you, and I love you both.
We love you. Jimmy, do you have anything to say before we close out?
No, I'm not really a big
Hugger?
kumbaya kind of guy. But yeah.
You're a Goblin, huh?
Yeah, I'm a Goblay. Not Goblay, but Goblay.
Well, Goblin. It's what we are. Well, guys, this has been the Goblay Show on the mountain in the Smoky Mountains. The rain is down, and we're going to go and do something, get out of here. So
Drink a beer.
Yeah, you got one thing, man?
I got one thing to say.
What?
How about them Cowboys?
All right. Well, you heard it from my dad, and we're gonna end it on that.